All right, in this video, I'm going to talk about 11 green flags you should be looking for when you're dating a woman. And the reason why these are so important, because these are the fundamental root causes of what causes relationships to end if they don't have these things. So if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more in the future. So the first one is low in neuroticism. And what is neuroticism? It's one of the big five to talk about in psychology. And what it means is like the roller coaster of negative emotions and the inability to get yourself out of such a rumination state. So you've all been with women, or you've seen somebody in your life who just can't control their negative emotions. In other words, they start spiraling out of control. They get really worried about what other people are thinking. Or they start getting guilt and shame about what they did or they didn't do, and how they're not enough, how they're insecure in themselves, and how they don't know how to be around this person. Just, again, it's this sense of just really worrying about what other people think, or getting angry with them because they're not the way they should be. And you'll find this in a lot of people who have some serious traumas from their childhood. They don't know how to emotionally regulate themselves. And so when they come to the relationship, they're going to get a bunch of false flags of what's going wrong. There's not necessarily anything wrong in a relationship, but they'll accuse you of something going wrong, and then you're over here trying to pick up the pieces of what the fuck just happened. And then you'll be confused, like, I just don't understand how we got here. And it just keeps spiraling and escalating out of control because you don't know what the threat is that she's seeing, and yet it's here. So you want somebody who's incredibly low in neuroticism, somebody who can manage their emotions properly, who can emotionally regulate themselves well and has a high emotional intelligence. High in introspection. In other words, she's very good at looking at herself and seeing how she operates. So many people in the world just aren't watching themselves. They're just living by default. They're not actually very conscious. So I wear this shirt, Conscious AF, because I'm all about, and you should also be all about, being as conscious of yourself as possible. Like, why are you doing the things you're doing in your life? And what are your motivations for that? What is the result that you're going to get by doing those things? So you want somebody who is high in introspection. If she can be introspective, if she can look at what's going on, then she has the ability to at least understand and recognize her faults and things that she might want to improve or optimize. Because if you can't notice it, you can't change it. And so the first step for any kind of a change or pivot in your life or transformation is you have to see it. If you can't see it, you can't change it. The third green flag is she should be high in empathy. Now, she should be able to put herself in your shoes, put herself in other people's shoes. And guys neglect this all the time because guys are typically like the producer, the guy that has to deal with all the bullshit in the world, and nobody asks the guy how he's doing. It's like, hey, suck it up, buttercup, we're going to get some shit done. And so when he gets this treatment from the girl he's dating or his wife, he doesn't think of it as any different. And so when he gets with a woman who's highly empathetic and actually cares and wants to have this giving attitude, then to him it just blows his mind that this even exists. And so you, if you're dating, you should really be looking for somebody who's highly empathetic. Highly empathetic doesn't necessarily mean that she's highly emotional about these other people. It just means she can put herself in somebody else's shoes. What that means, the fourth one, is she could be objective. Just because she can empathize with somebody doesn't mean she's going to get all entrenched and wrapped up in the other person's emotions. Somebody who's highly empathetic but also can be objective can then have an argument with you, have a disagreement or a collision, and she can see what's going on with you but then give you the benefit of the doubt. She won't be so reactionary to everything that you say. Now, with that being said, you should also adorn these traits as well. But this concept of being objective balances out her level of empathy. I can't tell you how many people say they're like, I'm an empath, and then they avoid social situations and they complain and victimize themselves about how they're always a victim of everybody else's emotions. Like, I can feel your emotions and I can see what's going on, but I'm not going to take them personally and I'm not going to get wrapped up in it. How can I be a coach or be a leader in my family if I'm getting so swept up in the current of everybody else's emotions? I can't. I have to exercise emotional self-control. And we're not saying that your woman has to do it to that degree, but she has to have some level of objectivity when she's dealing with her own emotional state. 5, is she nurturing? It probably doesn't matter so much if you don't plan on having children with her, but generally you want to have a woman who's nurturing. That means that she actually cares about the general well-being of you and the family. She wants to be able to help. She wants to be able to ensure that the education of your children is going to go further, that they're going to be well-rounded, that they're going to be raised properly, that she can give this love and care to them unconditionally. Now, with this being said, you as a man should not be leveraging that nurturing attitude for your own benefit. When you get to be a man and you start eliciting this nurturing energy from her, then she starts to see you more as a child, and then she can't be a mother and a lover at the same time. When she tries to do this, it just doesn't work. She'll just be the mother to you. And then you'll be like, why are we not having sex? And she's like, well, you've been asking for this nurturing energy, and I love you, and I'm going to give you that because that's what you asked for. But at the same time, she's going to say, I just, for whatever reason, I don't know why, and I'm not that sexually interested in you right now. And it's because you've been asking for nurturing. Now, you want to see this in her because if she has this ability, she'll be a great mother. And it's a good trait because it lends to all the other things like being empathetic. You can't be nurturing if you're not empathetic. So it's a good green flag if she's highly nurturing. Another one of the big 5 in psychology is agreeability. You want a woman who is more agreeable. If you're a guy and you want to lead the relationship and you're kind of assertive, you want somebody who's not going to challenge you all the time. There's nothing wrong with challenging you if you're wrong or if you're fucking up or you're a liar. She should do that. That's her job as your wife, is to show you your faults in a way that's constructive and supportive and gives you the benefit of the doubt and gives you the space to actually make a remedy. So it's easier to be with a woman who is more agreeable if you are a more leadership type of a guy. 7 is you want her to be socially adept. You want somebody who actually could be social. When you have children with her, is she going to be making friends with the other mothers? Is she going to be arranging play dates? Can she navigate socially so that she can have friends and have a life outside of you and the family? This is very important psychologically, that everybody needs to have friends. They can't just rely on their relationship solely to be everything that they get socially. And so she has to be able to make friends with other women, not just guys. Typically, if she's just having friends with just guys, there's something going on because the women don't want to be friends with her. So you want a woman who is socially adept. Make friends with women, can make friends with other kids' mothers. Create this sense of community. And number 9, you want her to be healthy. You need somebody who actually takes care of themselves, takes care of their house, takes care of their physical body. Just like you should be healthy, you should be worried about your body and what you put into your mouth and how in your exercise and fitness. You want somebody else who's like this as well. And not everybody's going to be healthy forever. We're all going to get old and die. You should be with somebody who takes their health seriously because that means that they honor their body, they honor their environment. If you're a guy who's really into his fitness and wants to be healthy, then if you're with somebody who isn't and doesn't care about it, it's going to sabotage you. It's going to sabotage your health quite a bit. And in this space, you also don't want to be the guy who's sabotaging her health benefits, what she's trying to do for her life. And number 10, this also goes for the environment. In other words, do they have sense of style and cleanliness? Do they have organization? This whole concept of, is my life organized in some form or fashion? You know, is she financially organized? Is her house organized? Is she clean? Does she have a sense of style? Does she wear decent clothes? She cares about herself and her environment. She's a good custodian of everything that she has within her realm of control. If she doesn't have this, if you're with somebody who's quite frankly a pig at home, or they're terrible with money, or they don't really care about the way that they dress, it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. You want to be able to look at her and say, okay, she's going places with me. I don't want a project. I want her to stand on her own 2 feet. And the last one is spiritual. Does she have a good sense of the spiritual? Now, with that being said, remember, we've got objectivity and empathy in there, which means that if she's got a good sense of spiritual with the objectivity and the empathy, it means she's not going to be ruled by dogma. She's going to be smart. She's going to be introspective. She's going to be intelligent about what her spirituality is. And she won't just be this kind of person who just puts spiritual quotes on Instagram and say, I'm not religious, I'm just spiritual. Like that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who actually has a faith in God, or some sort of a real conviction in the religion that they're doing that's not completely just overshadowed by dogma of a church. And so if you have somebody who has this spiritual sense, then you can go somewhere. Because then now your relationship with her is tied by a third party, either God or love or whatever that third thing is, and you're together for a bigger reason than just being together. And this is a crucial point in any kind of relationship. And the Christians have figured this out a long time ago. They put God at the center of their relationship, and now they're together not just because they're together, but because they're together because of God, and that's the center point in the relationship. Now, with my wife, we put love at the center of it. In other words, what's the greater thing for love for the both of us? And it kind of worked out the same way. And if you go all the way down the road of spirituality, you'll find that the two are in fact the same. And so putting that thing at the center of your relationship will make it stronger than if it wasn't there at all. And so again, spiritual, number 11, what's the greater purpose that you're together? All right, brother, that was the 11 green flags that we're looking for in a partner, in your woman. They may not be comprehensive, but hopefully that's helpful for you. If you like this video, definitely hit like and subscribe if you want to see more in the future.